Hey, what's up? Hello, 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 family. So, hey, we talking about some difficult stuff tonight, and I cannot wait to bring my sisters on live with me here in a moment. We're going to be talking about difficult people. And, sometimes those difficult people can be you, can be me, can be them, could be us, could be we. But we got to remember that nobody is perfect, and it's inevitable that you are going to meet difficult people in every walk of life. So don't expect perfection. Don't become overly upset when you encounter people with prickly personalities. Listen, God doesn't expect them to be perfect, and neither should you. Understand that their emotions are contagious. Negative emotions, like their positive counterparts, are contagious. And I want you to remember this. Forewarned is to be forearmed. Have faith that with God's help, you can learn to control your own emotions. Okay. How do you respond to people with those prickly personalities? Listen, God's peace is available to each and every one of you, right? But sometimes you may need to establish some emotional safety nets out there in order to experience it. So understand that the sooner you recognize and reject, hear me clearly, the sooner you and I, all of us, recognize and reject negative emotions, the less their power will be there to harm each and every one of us. And that's why it's really helpful to identify these difficult people and really deflect their whole hurtful emotions as soon as you can. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And I'm going to tell you something. People go, you know what? You just got to deal with the baby. You just got to roll with the punches. You just got to, no. The Bible warns against angry outbursts. And again, God's word makes it very clear that anger is only one letter away from danger. So your job and my job is to control our emotions, even when others have lost control of theirs. So remember, got to remember this. Forgiveness isn't optional. You can't expect to experience God's forgiveness and peace if you're still embittered against one of his children. So we're going to talk about that tonight, y'all. We're going to talk about dealing with difficult folk. We're going to talk about it. And I'm so excited to bring my sister girls in tonight. Hey, y'all. Hey.
Hello.
Hola. Hello. How are y'all?
Doing well.
Yeah, doing well. You know what? That was a long intro because dealing with difficult people is like, it's just, it's something else. But we got to talk about it. We can't sugarcoat it tonight. And I know we have an abbreviated crew, but listen, we can do a whole bunch of power punches with 3 of us. Amen.
Amen.
So we are going to do it on tonight. And I see we've got, I see we already got one of our favorite partners on, Sister Dawn. She said emotional safety net. Love. Oh, you love the red. Thank you, girl.
Yes. I agree with both of those, Dawn. Beautiful.
You know what? So we talking about difficult people tonight, y'all. We are talking about it. And we really, really, really love to hear your comments that you have, ladies. I'm going to ask that for the ladies and the guys, the fellows who are on, if you can share right now, share, because we want to talk about it. We want to hear what you have to say about dealing with difficult people, in the light of, that day that's tomorrow, Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Some of us, I'm going to put it out there real quick. Some of us are compromising because we want a Valentine. And we know that person is difficult. And there's life after February 14th.
Much.
So what are we going to do about that? What are y'all doing about that, ladies? Are you, what would you, now both of you all are married. I'm single. So, in your past or anyone you've mentored or a sister girl you might talk to that's single right now, that's, considering compromising so she can have a Valentine date tomorrow. What are your thoughts on that? Like, and she knows that person's difficult, by the way.
I I say be comfortable with dating yourself. It's okay to treat yourself, to have a spa day, to do the things that you like to do with the people you enjoy being around. Don't sacrifice your time and energy on less than.
Yeah, come on
Like,
now.
that's going to make you regret or feel bad, or, don't do that. I would say don't sacrifice just for what? For what?
Yes. Don't do that. I like that. I love that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I'll piggyback right on that. That is true. Don't do that. One thing I told myself as a single woman out here dating, when I was dating, and even when I was dating, I will not settle for a piece of a man.
Come on.
What I mean, either I'm going to have all of you or not. And what I mean by all of you, I mean, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially. Like, I need all of that to be there. And
you had to start somewhere to get there, didn't you? So that's what I like talking about, right? You had to start somewhere. You started somewhere where you probably, and I know we've all done that. We've compromised where we have taken a piece of somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And that inner voice said, don't do that.
Don't do that.
I said, "Oh, Minister Wynn." Like I said, Minister Wynn, Lord Jesus.
No, I think that is true, though. Too many times we hold on to a piece of something because you think, okay, maybe it's better than nothing, but you're holding on to a piece of something, but God can't give you the whole something till you let go of that piece of something.
Amen.
Come on.
Don't hang on to it. Like, why? What purpose does it serve? Does it make you happy? Does it bring you joy?
Mm-mm.
Or do you just get to say, oh, I have someone? You have a piece of something.
You have a piece of, wow, think about that.
Mm-hmm.
A piece of something.
Mm-hmm.
And then a piece of a difficult something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about that, because with me, and let me say this too, and I think you said, when you said peace also earlier, some advice to give to my sisters, because listen, if you read my book, I done been through the ringer of relationships, scenarios, I should say, and they've all been different. And I've learned from all of them, right? But the main key of success is don't compromise, period, with difficult people. To be in a relationship, to have a Valentine, to have somebody,
At all.
At all.
I have a motto, and my motto is do not mess up my vibe or my money. Do not mess up my vibe or
my duckies. Don't mess with my vibe or my duckies.
Period. And so I feel like if they are doing that in either direction, whether it's not I'm in a relationship or a friendship or a situationship or whatever, and you're messing with my vibe, you gotta go. Or you're messing with my money. And that what I mean by that is I'm going in one direction and you're pulling me in another. You're not supportive. You're not, helping me go after whatever it is I'm going for. And I say money, but when I say money, I'm saying like I'm going for time freedom. I'm going for freedom. I'm trying to be free. Right. What happened?
What do you mean? Why not?
I'm so
sorry. Okay.
I'm listening.
Okay. Okay. But that's really all I had to say. That's really all I had to add. Can
I confess, sis? I was trying to share this, and I because I forgot to. Someone said you need to share it to your personal page just now, and I forgot. So when they reminded me, you were talking, and so I was trying to hit share, and obviously I was so in tune to what you were saying. This wasn't working out.
It's okay. It's okay. Hey, we're learning.
There it is. Okay. All right.
To tag on what you said, TP, I think too, you have to learn to teach others to respect your presence or let them recognize your absence. When they're being difficult, when they're, not listening to you, you can go stealth quiet on a person, especially if it's a boss who's being kind of indignant or not respectful of your position or your place as a person, You can go stealth quiet on them and let them hear themselves. Let them hear themselves being, indignant or otherwise. But I have learned how to learn to do that. If they can't respect your presence, let them recognize your absence.
If they cannot respect your presence, they have to recognize, I'm about to say like grandma, recognize your absence. Mm-hmm. Wow.
In other words, you're going to learn today.
You're going to learn today. Okay, listen. And wow, Wendy Wynn. That's right up there with silence with difficult people. Mm-hmm. That's right up there with just being quiet. Because sometimes you just have to be quiet with difficult people too, right? Just don't say anything. Mm-hmm. Like if you didn't leave, sometimes you just have to zip it up.
That's true.
Because I'm reminded of it's a matter of the heart, right? And we talked about this kind of last week when we came up with heart days. Mm-hmm. And it's a matter of the heart. And even I think about, as I bring it back spiritual, that God says, you know what? You got to guard your heart from difficult folk. Because from the abundance of the heart, what happens? So the mouth, what? Speaks.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You got to guard your heart. If you got around a piece of people, you got a piece of something where they halfway spiritual and halfway physical and halfway emotional and halfway mental. Okay, you got that piece. And then you got them with all that the negative vibe and all that difficulty and angry emotions and all that, all just to have a Valentine. Mm-mm. Your heart gonna be jacked up, and then your mouth gonna say things, and God clearly says, guard your heart. Mm-hmm. As we talk about Heart Day.
Well, it said guard your tongue too.
So do, and hold it. Hold your tongue.
And it's one day. It's one day. It's one day. So what are you going to do the other 364 days out of the year? No. And you know what? And then the other thing is, like if you're probably put in their life to teach them something. Like there's something you're there to teach them. And that may be, you treated me like Wendy said. You're going to recognize my absence. You're going to learn to not treat people this way. So I feel like, they have a lesson to learn too. And sometimes God uses us who may not you may not be the difficult one, but he may be using you to help teach that difficult person that they need to change.
Right. It's an indoctrination. I love it. Here she comes. Here comes Ashika, boy. I love it. Hey, Ashika.
I feel like she's my sister too. Hey, she.
Yeah, y'all are very similar, by the way. Very similar.
Wow.
That's my blood sister, as we say in the country. So I want to talk about this. So we talked about God wants us to guard our heart. I think my sister said, hold your tongue or watch your tongue, all that. Do you think you can please everybody?
Oh, no, ma'am.
About being in the presence of difficult people that are difficult. Well, let me ask you this. Wait, I'm sorry. What do you consider a difficult person in a relationship or outside any type of relationship, whether it be man and woman or, woman and woman as friends or whatever? What do you consider to be a difficult person?
A person that's inconsiderate and selfish all the time, and they only see themselves and how things affect them. They don't have the ability to have empathy for the other person. Mm-hmm. That's a difficult person. If they can't imagine what your feelings could be like if they say certain things or do certain things, they're inconsiderate of you. It's like, that's a difficult person.
That's difficult.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
Well, I think also, to add to that, a person that I would find difficult would be someone who is always who's always being negative. I mean, you always find the worst, and you're like, to piggyback also on what Wendy said, you're self-absorbed. So it's always the sky is falling, it's dark outside, and they don't support you. They don't, anything that you have to share, they all, it's a whole vibe. It's the vibe for me.
It's a vibe with them.
It's
They
the vibe.
take.
They drain.
Yeah.
I got a question for you though. Speaking, I know one of my sisters, she was talking about love languages the other day. Sister Bernithia, I love that chick, the source of hope. She's super awesome. And she was talking about love languages. And it made me think about something because I got the book and I done read it a couple of times, and you talk about someone who takes, gives, and drains you and all that. But let me ask you this question. What if I'm in a relationship with you, girlfriend or guy friend, and I say to you, listen, I need you to do, I need to feel like you notice, I don't know, what was a good example. I need to feel like you notice what I'm doing as my friend or as someone I'm in a relationship with, someone I trust. I need to know that you appreciate things that I do. That might be my love language, that I need someone to tell me that they appreciate me or they notice that I'm giving or kind. Okay. So what are your thoughts on that? If someone comes to you and says that to you and you're in a relationship and that happens to be their love language, they don't want gifts. They don't want to go to dinner. But they need you to validate that they're giving to you and they love you and you recognize it. Would you say, you know what, you pulling off my vibe? Or would you say, you know what, it's hard for me to do that, but I'm going to do that for you because I care about you? Or would you label them as being difficult because they're telling you what they need in that relationship?
No, I don't think so. Isn't that good communication, TP?
Yeah, I wouldn't. And I probably wouldn't have said that before I got married. I wouldn't label them as being difficult. I just learned from pretty much, it's like a weekend couples marriage, camp that my husband and I went to, and we learned that we show love differently. And so I think that, if I didn't learn that weekend, I probably would have thought, you're not showing that you love me. But no, I wouldn't necessarily say that that's being difficult. I couldn't say that because we show it different. No, I wouldn't say that that's being difficult.
Let me tell y'all, look, pause break. Let me tell y'all, God is something else. I just said this sister's name. I have so much respect for this sister, Coach BJ, and she is on the line, y'all.
Hello, Coach BJ.
Coach BJ. That is so funny. I love God. You are something else. I love it. We just bring your name up and you pop up here in the comments, Coach BJ. Won't God do it? This chick is amazing. When I tell you this is a bold sister, and I had to interject that real quick because I saw her name pop up over here. Because she is a life coach. And when I say she does her research, I have the utmost respect for those individuals. And they're not partial. She's coming in with fact that you can validate. And when she was talking about love languages, and I had read the book a couple of times, I was like, this sister knows what she's talking about. And it made me think, so it's so good to hear you, TP, say that you and your husband went somewhere and learned about that. And before that, you might have thought one way, but after that, you were like, wait, no, this is like Wendy Wynn said, like good communication. They're letting me know what they need. So they're not a confession.
I've never read that book. I have a confession.
You got to read that book, girl.
I've never read it.
Read it. Love languages. It's awesome. It is awesome. Because then I think Wendy was saying it earlier, or maybe I don't know. But it was more of then you don't feel like that person's, you learn to respect where they are, right? So you don't label them as being difficult because they're saying to you, listen, I need you to notice me. I need you to, I think Sister Bernithia called it words of affirmation. I need words of affirmation from you. Because some people might go, well, I got to tell you, I like what you're doing. And you just being so extra. That somebody is difficult. Get away from them. I'm just being real.
I believe that.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
If they can't give that, because it costs you nothing you're not taking it from your personal bank account. It costs you nothing to build someone up with your words. God says our words have power.
Yes.
And why do we want to use that power for good, something to help the other person, not tear them down? Like a lot of people have been taught to do, or it's been done and they think it's funny, it's cute. It's not.
It's not cute. It's not cute at all. And I'm going to tell you something that happened to me. And I can't believe I couldn't remember the example, but that happened to me. I actually severed a friendship. Well, I thought it was a friendship, not really a friendship. If you can't communicate with somebody and tell them what you need in that relationship. I don't need you to buy me nothing. I don't need you to go places with me, but I kind of need you as that particular friend to say, listen, Denise, I heard you speak the other day. And yes, I might be giving feedback to another person when they speak, but every time you speak, I don't tell you nothing. And so I go to that person, I go, listen, I really need that from you. I value your opinion. And when you tell me, oh, you always do good, I said, that doesn't help me. Tell me specifically what I did well so I can keep doing it. Right. And I'm telling you, that's my love language. I don't even need you to come hear me speak. But if you heard me, and you're doing it, you're giving everybody else feedback, I respect your feedback. And this person, we're not anymore. I mean, I had to guard my heart because I was like, wow, I can't even communicate. Now everything I do is like, oh, she hurt my feelings. Oh, what? We're adults. Can we eat some solid food today? So I'm like, I don't know, man. I just, as I've gotten older, I've gotten, I'm not there yet, right? I'm not completely there yet, but wiser in a lot of different things as it relates to relationships with men and women. Yeah. And going to that guidebook, which is the word of God. I've realized that he's telling me that you still love that person. You still will talk to that person. You see him, you love them, you hug them. Okay. However, if it's something that you are allowing either in your weakness or their weakness to cause you to sin or be angry or to have animosity. And I was in that place. I was in that place of, I was weak and I was like allowing it to like get to me. Every time I saw them, I was like, oh my God. And that's not okay.
That's not good.
So you got to guard that heart. Right. Because then if I do that to her, I'm going to do that to everybody else. So I had to remove myself from that situation till I could get stronger. Right. Or till she gets stronger. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that, but the thing is we got to also see where we play the role in that difficultness. What role you play in being difficult? We got to stop sugarcoating it. And so many people pat you on the back for all your life. You've been difficult, negative vibes, and they just keep on. That's how she is. That's how she's always been. Please eat some solid food today. My God, help us.
I like the comment by Dawn. She said those deposits into the emotional bank account are critical.
They are. Thank you, Dawn. They are critical. That emotional, it's serious. Listen, that's cheap, right?
That's right.
Nothing.
That's right.
You gotta buy me no fancy gifts.
I feel like as a friend. I'm sorry, Wendy, go ahead.
That's okay. I was just gonna say, but people feel like it's beneath them or something to give a person a compliment. And if your partner is like that, whoa.
Yeah.
Or your friend.
I want to go back to your friend though. If that was your friend, someone who was your friend, your friend knows how you are. And I think if I'm calling you my friend, you know that I'm going to come to you and say, sis, how did I do? Go tell me how did I do? And I expect you to say, okay, well, that's what you need. I do. I totally agree with you on that. But I just wonder, it goes back to, are you truly my friend? But then I also say, I think maybe I haven't read the 5 love languages book, but is that how that person is with everyone? Do they?
No, they're not.
Okay. Well,
and that's the thing. At first I took it hard like it was me. And they said, do you ask all of your friends to watch? I said, I don't have to ask my friends to watch anything that I do because they know where God is they see where God is taking me and using me. And they see the gifts manifesting in me. And so they just volunteer, girl, don't you do that no more. Or just in case, they give me good constructive criticism.
That's a friend.
I don't have to ask them to do nothing. They do it. But here's the but. Here's the but. I am invested in them as well. And the same way I was invested in that friend, where I figured out what made her tick, what hurt her, what made her happy. And I was invested in her, and I expected that same investment. And see, sometimes we have to make sure that we are careful about our expectations also. And so that is one thing I did learn, is that everybody's not capable. Everybody's not on solid food. Everybody is in different levels of spirituality and their emotional bank and their physical bank and their mental. I mean, there's a lot there. Okay. And so I had to kind of pull back my expectations as well and just say, wait a minute, it's just not right. I'm at a weak point right now. I can't do right by that person, how these emotions are going, and they are not capable of doing right by me. So I have to repurge my friends. And I always recommend that you have to purge.
I agree.
Sift your friends, and you can't do a whole bunch of them. You know, I just don't believe that. I've learned that in my life. Now, listen, you going good with 30 and 40 friends, have at it. That's all you.
If she could say that person was not your friend, your sister knows. I have a question. And this, if I don't know if I don't know if this is off topic, Minister Denise, and if it is, you can just say no. We're not going to talk about that today. But I was just thinking about, you know, with it being Valentine's Day, and along those lines of, you know, like you said, you know, you settle for a piece of a man, but I guess kind of, sort of, not quite. Okay, maybe not quite, but. So when is it too soon, or you meet someone and they want to schedule an international trip with you? When is it too soon to go on a trip, an international trip? I'm not talking about domestic, an international trip with someone you're dating. How long should it be? Should you give it a, is this thing on? I know. I had a little situation. And so when you traveling internationally with your own partner that you've been with for 10 years, you learn things about people. You know, if they don't like to ask for directions in the US, they might not like to ask for directions in the UK. So you might have a look, you know, I mean, you know, so, but you don't really know a person. So going international with them is a whole, like, I could get left over here. But anyways, I was just
talking about one of your friends, are you? Somebody you know that did that?
No, not someone I know.
Denise, you might have to take the lead on that, because I don't know.
When is it too soon, or to the audience? How long should you wait before you go on an international trip with someone you're dating?
You know what? I got the audience, because she see my facial expressions. I am not going to get in that rabbit hole. So yeah, audience.
Okay, I just wanted to throw it out there. We'll just
partners.
We'll just leave that one in the atmosphere.
No, we won't. No. How soon?
It's
being with the wind over here on this side.
Yeah, I just couldn't see myself going out of the country it's going to take a minute to trust.
I'm barely going to the coffee shop.
Yeah, because some people don't know their way around America, much less another country.
You're saying the wrong thing nowadays. They chopping off fingers. I'm just saying. Anyway,
about a month. Let's say a month. Let's say a month. You've been dating them for a month.
No,
not enough time. No.
Woo,
not enough.
If you're intimate with that person, you still can be sleeping with the enemy, sis. What? I mean, no. Well, that's just my opinion. That's not fact.
I know couples that have left and they've been together for a couple of years and went overseas and they came back on different planes. So, no, not just because you're enemy.
No.
You already know that person, I hope. Yep. Yeah, they thought they knew Ted Bundy too, but he was the neighbor that was cutting up the other neighbors and serving them.
I'm still learning stuff about my husband 10 years later.
You know what?
I mean, you know,
when you meet the true person, not the representative. Well, I'm gonna say it again. You know, I got to throw my book out there again. I was dealing with some representatives for years.
Them too.
So I'm just saying.
I told my husband if his representative came out, I was meeting him at the altar.
Coach BJ said, as long as it takes to build trust, and that will be different for a lot of people.
I agree.
So you got to throw some trust testers out there, okay? You got to do some things to trust. I'm not saying be crazy, because sometimes we do some things that, as women, I've done it. We do some things that we set traps for, our mates that are, just some people just not going to check off the box like we expect them to. But we should be able to watch behavior and really pay attention. And we can tell someone's character if we can trust them.
Right.
What they're doing in the dark is what they're going to do, in what they're going to do behind the scenes. You can only imagine if they're going to do it behind the scenes, what they're going to do in the forefront, in the light. So, I totally agree that we have to watch out for trust and make sure you build that trust, or they build that trust with you. My mom always told me you don't start with trust.
No.
People earn trust.
That's right.
So,
that's right. That's right.
Shout out to Coach BJ. Woohoo! Yeah, you guys got to watch our show, The Source of Hope. Watch it. Great information. We love to, at ImPowered Woman here, we love the support of the women and their mediums of making daily living better, right? And giving some really practical tips that you can also applicable, right? You can apply. Is that a word? Did I make it up?
No, you're right. That's a word. You pronounce it properly. Applicable.
So difficult people, I got to go back to this because that's what we're not sugarcoating tonight, right? I've learned to distance myself from dishonest people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned to distance myself from dishonest people.
That's just a wise safety mechanism.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's the success tip again is do not compromise, period, with difficult people that are dishonest, have no integrity, any of that. And especially if it's you. This is yourself from yourself. Okay. You got to get it together.
You better go pray. You better go
get and fast. You might need prayer, fast, and appeal for that one.
Shoot. Can't trust yourself.
I got another one I wrote down here we got to talk about before we get. How about being aware of chronically bitter people?
I have known some of them and I run.
Chronically bitter.
It's draining. It's draining. It's draining. You're drained by the time you get, leave their presence. Now I'm drained because I'm trying to, stay positive and keep my positivity up. But like I said, do not mess up my vibe or my money. And if there's my vibe or my money, I am gone. I'm out. I can't. And I mean, I've had friends who, you've grown up with them, and then something happened in their life, or a series of things happened in their life, and they just can't seem to bounce back. And I have tried, when I was younger, I tried to be that person. Call me if you're, call me. Now I'm just like, I think you might need to go see a therapist. You might need to pray about that.
Like seriously, like really. I mean, and excuse me. And listen, there's nothing wrong with a therapist. I know sometimes in the military community, we say don't do that. We say put tussin on it and don't tell what happens in the home stays in the home. But it's something beautiful about when you can talk, to your sister girl or someone and say, listen, you really need to get help on that, because bitterness is deadly. It's dangerous, and maybe you're in a place that you don't know you're in. Let's talk about it. Let me tell you what I hear and tell me if you're feeling what I'm hearing. Or are we on the same page? And I always say, try to watch the word you. And I just said it a couple of times. So watch the word you. When you're giving feedback to a difficult person that might be your friend or your acquaintance, be careful with the word you, because you puts people on the defense. You said this and you sound like that and you're bitter and you're angry and you're dishonest and you. and it's just like they just crumble. And if the goal is to make them feel better and to get help, or to be open to getting help and counseling, then it's like, this is what I heard, and it sounds like this. Do you seem to hear the same thing? Or how does it make us feel? It makes me feel this way when I hear that. You know, try to stay away from you as much as possible. It's really you got to kind of exercise that thing. But
I like that tip. You know what? And I haven't used that. You know what my favorite line is to people who I'm trying to let them, realize that you're really hurting yourself. I do say, I'm like, you are holding on to hot coal, and it's burning you, and you want them to feel your pain, and you're mad at them. So I don't know that it's necessarily put them on the defensive, or that they told me that it's putting them on the defensive, but I just try, it's like, that is what I felt like they were doing. You're holding on to that and wanting someone else to feel what you're going through, but it's only hurting you.
So what I always recommend is you just deal with the actual action or the actual emotion. Bitterness causes this. Bitterness means that. The definition of bitterness is this, because then it's factual, right? You got the definition of it. You know what it can cause. Research has shown. I know someone that this happened to, and blah. I don't know if we're in that place right now. Are we in that place? Because remember, if they grieve, we grieve, right? If we're truly friends. If they're the difficult person, if they're excited, we should be excited, right? They rejoice, we should rejoice. So the goal is to help them get help. So that word "you" has to be, it's kind of up there with like TP when you're presenting. For us to reduce those we got to, as much as possible, reduce saying "you," because "you" it deflates the self-esteem, the confidence. They get like, they almost feel, and I know how I feel suffocated when someone says, you are bitter, you are difficult. We know it, but to say it, it kind of defeats the purpose of that individual,
Yashika had a question there.
What do you say to them when they complain about getting help? So, I'm going to only speak for me. I'm not the expert. I'm going to speak for me. And when I'm mentoring individuals, and then TP and Wendy Wynn can chime in. For me, I just ask them, what's the alternative? If we don't get help, what do you think this current situation is going to look like a day from now? And keep it small. Because every day they're probably dealing with something. As a difficult person, a lot of times they might have some past hurt they haven't let go of, some past pain, past relationships, something going on in the job, something going on in the family, something. So if we don't get help, what is this? What could this look like? What do you think it could look like in a day? And they have that pain. They know it's not going to get better, because yesterday I was jacked up. Tomorrow I might be jacked up. So I probably should, that's for me. And then I see what you're saying, Shika, because there are so many resources out there that don't cost. Quite frankly, there are a lot of spiritual counselors out there, pastors that are ready to counsel. I don't have anybody to keep my kids. You know what? If you have pastoral counseling, a lot of times they have a safe place for a safe social distancing type of area for the for the children as well. There are so many different resources. This is really good stuff. I'm so glad. I don't do therapists. I don't trust therapists. I hear you. A lot of people don't trust therapists. Okay. And so let's look up some more resources, my sister.
I would ask them, who do you trust? Is that a problem? Do you have problem trusting in general? Who do you trust?
Yeah. And there are life coaches out there, like Coach Benethia. I'm telling you, during a really very challenging time of my life, I solicited her services. You've got ministers, you've got pastors, you've got mentors, you've got family members, you've got confidants, you've got so many people that you can reach out to. And I like what Wendy Wynn said. Who do you trust?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Coach B said, if you want change, you can't be unwilling to change. You have to lean into the discomfort and make your life better. So there you go. Boom, there you are. Because that's accountability.
That's right.
Yeah.
Accountability.
Accountability. And we're going to run into these difficult situations. If anytime we are really in life, right, and we're leaning into life, we're active and involved, we're going to run into difficult people, difficult situations, and we're going to have difficult conversations. And I think that right there is really the Achilles heel to working through some of these things with difficult people, because we don't want to have the conversations.
Right.
We take the path of, I ain't gonna talk to her about that. I'm just gonna flight. I'm not gonna fight. I'm gonna flight. But we are supposed to be our sister and our brother's keeper. What in the world? If people gave up on me, all my garbage that I've been going through over the years, where would I be?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I typically just tell them, you will change when you're ready. I think I'm along the lines of Wendy. One thing about me is I really don't like to push. Like if you're not willing to be open, if you're not willing to, be open to change, I just say, you will change once you're sick and tired. Once you're tired, you'll actually change. I'm still here for you, but all I can do is ask you, what's your plan? What's your, what I can only, help you in the way that I think I help myself. Does that make sense? So, like I talk to myself that way. So I'm talking to you the same way that I talk to myself. And sometimes I might be a little bit harsh, but I'm kicking myself in the butt. So I'm trying to kick you in the butt, and say, so I think I can only help you in the way that I would help myself. Or judge based on the way that, the things that I know, or not say judge, but,
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? So
I know what you mean.
I'm very limited, and I realize I am not a therapist. I realize I am not.
What else is? You just said something pivotal. That's something, somebody please put a pin in that thing right there, because you just said something just powerful though. We have to preface the conversation with that. Mm-hmm. Listen, I'm not a therapist. Mm-hmm. If it gets to that part. Now, you can't say that in the beginning, I think sometimes, because someone might get on defense. Like, what you trying to say? I need a therapist. But, what you talking about? But it could be where you start the conversation with, what, I'm not good at this. What I am good at is I have a heart. I love you. I see that there's something that's happening. Mm-hmm. And I want to be here the best way I know how. I don't know if it's the right way. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just know that trying is the best thing that I can do right now. I'm here.
And that's my thing. I'm like, what's your plan? I'm like, what's your plan? What's your plan? You got a plan? I'm there to help you with the plan. I'm that friend that's going to help you. You need a place to stay. Mm-hmm. You need to borrow some money. You need, I'm going to help you. But what is your plan to try to help you get out of that difficult situation? I need you to know, like, if you're in a difficult marriage or bad relationship or, drug issues, like what's your plan? What do you want to do? How can I help you?
How can I help you?
That's how I am. And it's like, but I'm also along the lines of Yashika, when Yashika said, what did she say? It exhausts you to keep trying to persuade them. I'm not going to persuade you. I feel like I can't persuade you. So I can let you know I'm there to help you.
Right.
You're right. I agree with you. I do agree with you on that. I do agree with you because it is exhausting. I also want to remind everybody who's listening is that we have to seek to understand before we try to be understood. And that is the hardest, most possible thing to do. It's hard. It's possible. Right. And so, and I always say, you time yourself. I mentor a little over 60 women. I'm learning from them. They learning from me. They all over the world. They're not just here in Atlanta. Some of them 6 hours away, 6 hours ahead in time in Africa. And when we talk, I'm learning from them and they're learning from me. And a lot of times it's hard to do this. Like I said, however, I pull myself back and go, I wonder how her day, I'm watching her emotions and how is her day, her mannerisms. And, I see the kids going around. I'm trying to be in that zone.
Mm-hmm.
And that way I'm a little bit more sensitive to what she's saying when she sings, when she wants to pray, what she wants to talk about. Like, I might not want to talk about that pound cake because I don't like bacon. I might like, cooking some fried green tomatoes, but that's what she wants to talk about. And so I have to kind of take back, like, how much time did I allot for this conversation? I allotted a good 30 minutes for this conversation. Where is it headed? Where is it going to end? And so that's where my mind is going when I'm seeking to really understand them versus to be understood. And again, it's hard because we are a certain kind of way. Like you said, we're going to get it done. Wait, hold up. Wait, been there before. This is not my third rodeo. What's up? What's up? That person might not be at that level.
Right. You're right.
They're at another level of difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, hold up. Wait, we behind on some comments. Hold up. I actually think they don't want to change because it welcomes attention. Oh, wow.
Yeah, some of them. That's true. I have to
agree. Wow.
The drama.
We own our own behavior. Ownership and accountability are critical components of a relationship. Thank you, Sister Sheikah, Coach BJ, and Sister Dawn. We own our own behavior. And you know what? Again, I'm going to go back and say this again. And I know, Sister Dawn, you're coming from a place of, listen, I've been back there where I didn't own my own behavior. Now I own my own behavior. And so I expect you to own your own behavior. And I do want to remind y'all that I had to learn that the hard way from that friend I told you about. They weren't there. They were still on milk. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, they were still, how Mama had to chew the food up in her mouth first before she gave to you to chew up, and I had to kind of step back, and I'm up here eating on a big old fat eggplant, and so, it's just different. But I do agree with that wholeheartedly, that at some point in your adult life, you have to take ownership and accountability for a relationship and for your actions. You really do. And listen, I love this, Coach BJ. You can't wait. You can't want their breakthrough more than they want it. Come on.
That freed me. That freed me right there a long time ago.
Woo!
That right there.
You can't want their breakthrough more than them. Come on, somebody. And you got to be okay to move on. And listen, oh my gosh, listen, somebody please put a pin in that. I get so excited with those kind of, listen, when stuff is going hard and you like, I think like Yashika said, it's exhausting, and TP, you kind of echoed that. When you in an exhausting moment, you need that quote right there that Coach BJ
I have literally said that to people. I cannot want this more than you do. I can't want it for you. I can want it all I want to, but you got to do it. Like, I can't want it for you.
Right.
And you're right, Sister Yashika. I see that. I hear you, TP, and I hear you, Yashika. Y'all both on the same page right there. I mean, you know what? You're a realist. I get it. I just, again, I would not be doing my job as as a kingdom builder.
That's why the Lord got you in that their position. He said, Sister Monica, you go over there and help over there. Go help over there.
Listen, my mama didn't raise no fool, and neither did God, okay? But I'm going to say this. What I'm saying, I would not be doing my job if I did not say to everybody who's listening that just make sure that you're in a true place of giving to that person. I'm not saying get rolled over by the Mack truck. I'm not saying get from the train. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying time yourself and just make sure that you are in a place where you can say, I've done all I can do in a reasonable amount of time to be my sister or my brother's keeper. I did listen before I was thinking about what I was going to say. I did be empathetic, meaning put myself in their shoes, versus sympathetic. I was not impatient with them, okay? Because all the things that we want God to do, we got to be able to give it to other people. And it is hard. It is possible. So I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't say that. I'm not saying be somebody's fool, because I used to be that person. I couldn't say no, I would drag the wounded bird with me forever, and then before you know, I was wounded too.
High five, Yashika. High five, Yashika.
She said, "Get off!" Oh my God, this girl! Oh my God, what am I going to do with you?
You are right. We are alike in so many ways.
Yes, y'all are very much alike. If I could just get her to get on here when I tell you, y'all are very alike. I do, but yes, they have to want it. You are right.
That's right.
You're right. I can't even keep up with her comments here. I've given it up to God and our ancestors. Amen. And again, when you can say, I've done all I could do, and they yet holding on, baby, you just transfer that thing over. I mean, you know, it's already been trained. You should have transferred it over, quite frankly, before you started. And that's what we talked about before we got on this call, didn't we? On this podcast.
That's right.
You know, we don't get on here live until we have made sure that we are connected right? Because there's some things that might come out that, you know, we can't edit that thing because it's already came out. So I do want, again, doing my job, you know, I take seriously, before you even have that conversation with your sister, your brother, that difficult person, friend, family member, whatever, you got to consult the source first. God, guide my tongue, consecrate my mouth, guide my mind, my heart. Help me think more about them than about me right now. If I'm trying to help them, make sure my agendas and motives lining up right, you know, because listen, we operate in the flesh. You already know. We say some expletives. We think some things. We, you know, we move a little different. You know?
Yep. All the time.
You know, wow. This has been a super conversation. Wow. You know, and I'm going to tell you something. Minister Kaylee and Amanda were not able to, our 20 and 30 something sisters were not able to be here tonight, but I'm sure Minister Kaylee is like doing, you know, this, a round of applause, because we didn't miss a beat.
No.
There was no lag time.
I love their perspective, though. They are so wise. They are wise beyond their years.
They are. And thankfully, we had the help of these ladies with all the comments. Great comments.
Yes.
And support.
Y'all rock.
Thank you.
We are going to be talking about difficult people, you know, dealing with difficult people. We have some practical tips. We wanted to open the conversation tonight, but we do have some practical tips that we're going to talk about, especially in my new relationship series, as we were talking about as a relationship ambassadoress. I'll make that up. You know, especially in that series that's coming up in the next week or so. But we wanted to open the conversation up tonight and really talk about, you know, dealing with difficult people. But we're going to take it a lot further. We're going to be talking about some of the notes I got here. So hang tight with us over the next couple of weeks, because we're going to be talking about people change at a time of their choosing and not yours.
Ooh, let me write that down.
Talk about that. We're going to talk about people change at a time of their choosing and not yours. I'm going to say that again. We're going to be talking about being aware of negative peer pressure. I got all these notes down here. Being aware of people who are totally self-absorbed. If that's you, you know, we have to put ourselves in the mirror. Been there, done that. Got a t-shirt for it. We're going to be talking about avoiding senseless arguments. As women, sometimes we're a little extra. I got to put it out there. I'm a woman, so I can speak for it. You know, we're a little extra, so we got to talk about that. We also are going to be talking about difficult people teach us about ourselves.
Ooh.
So I got to put it out there. Difficult people teach us about ourselves. And I like what you got there, Dawn. We are preordained. How we address the behavior is a test. Wow. Just what we just said, right? We are in confirmation there, my sister. You know, difficult people teach us about ourselves. Are you a fighter or are you a flighter? Which are you? Is it all about you? Or it's all about serving them? Or is there balance? I don't know. But we're going to talk about that some more, y'all. Wendy Wynn, you got something that's good for the order that you want to say before we close out, sister?
I know. On that last thing you said, I think it is about the balance, because I was going to say I'm a natural debater. I was like, wait a second. But yeah, I think it is about having the balance, or finding the balance.
Finding the balance.
I don't know. I think it was a good show. Great job.
Awesome. TP, what you got for the close, my sister?
I agree with it all, but like I told y'all, my motto: do not mess up my vibe or my money. If you that, bye.
You go again. Okay.
You know, I can't have people taking food off a table. So if it's the boss at work, you know, you're not gonna mess up my vibe. Let me go listen to some Kirk Franklin right quick, so I can get right. Took out by security.
Oh God. Okay.
You caught your breath.
I love it.
You get real.